Hey everybody, today's kind of a special day because you guys are going to come watch me teach English here at the Lycée in Bilayanga. My buddy Henry came all the way from Fada to help me do this video. So you guys are going to get a first-hand look of what it's like to be an education volunteer in Burkina Faso. So I hope this gives you some perspective on what it's like to teach English in Africa. So hey, let's go check it out, okay? Follow me.
The Peace Corps education sector in Burkina Faso has two roles. One, preschool, and two, teach English, which is what you'll watch today. Being a teacher is challenging enough. And in this video, I'll also show you some of the other obstacles working in the classroom presents.
Bonjour! How are you? I'm fine. Okay, everybody sit down.
Before we get to that though, let's talk about proper classroom attire. It's important to be professional in the United States and in West Africa. Here you see, I'm wearing what I like to call my superhero outfit to go and inspire young minds. I think it's also pretty important to point out that my commute to work is definitely different than what it would be in the United States. Here, I don't have a car. I ride my bike to school. And I have two different routes to take to get there. In this route, I take the road, which goes directly to the school, but involves getting blasted by dust from passing trucks speeding by. In this route, I go the back way to school, which I prefer, but sometimes it can get a little hairy, especially when you get chased by village dogs. Any way you take though, you'll always end up in the same spot, underneath the one tree where all the teachers park their motorbikes. And usually you'll have a friend there waiting for you to say hi and ask you how your day's going. To get this shot, I had to ask one of my fellow teachers to give me a boost so I can get on the roof of the administration building. This is an aerial shot of my school. This is where I teach. We have sixième, cinquième, quatrième, troisième, and seconde, which is French for 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th grade. Pictured here is one of the two classes that I teach in. You can see it's pretty bare bones basic. There are two chalkboards, one in the front and one in the back, and they have rows of desks which are meant for two students, but most of the time pack in 3 and sometimes 4. And as you see in this shot, this is the closest thing you'll get in West Africa to a backpack if you live in the bush. There's no Kmart's or Walmart's around, so you have to make do with shoe bags or rice sacks that you can tie a string around and carry on your back. Burkina Faso used to be a former French colony, and because of that, they use the French education system. It is the national language, and you guessed it, I have to speak French when I want to teach English in the school system. Another challenge that you might take away from seeing some of this video is the class size. My first year, I taught 2 classes, one with 98 students in it and the other with 94. My second year was a little bit easier. I taught 2 classes again, but this time they were only in the mid-80s for both. One of the things that I find most challenging about teaching in West Africa is that I struggle to learn all the students' names in my class, which I think is really important because it establishes a teacher-student connection. Another challenge that I have is the Burkinabé use the rote education system, which is writing all the information on the chalkboard and having the students copy it down in their notebooks, and then having the students go home, study that material, memorize it, and then write it down on the test. I don't like it because it's not very imaginative and there's not a lot of outside the box thinking going on. It's just copy, memorize, and regurgitate. However, to combat this, the Peace Corps does give you a lot of really good ideas on how to try and get around this in the classroom. And sometimes, depending on the class size and your kids' motivation, it can pay off and they can actually really enjoy the different type of learning style that you're bringing to the classroom. One insight that I've taken away is I came to the Peace Corps to teach, but after 2 years here, I can proudly say that I've learned much more from my village, my fellow teachers, and this culture than I've taught.
Seattle.
12.
Seattle Seahawks. Seahawks.
Seahawks.
Seahawks. Yeah, Seahawks.
Seahawks.